Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all students. Chapter 3, we will learn about the mental model and also the conceptual model. So in order to design the usable product. Why this topic is very important? Because we don't want to make a wrong claim, okay? Or maybe we make the wrong assumption about the product that we design. So here we have two situations. One is designer and another one is user. From the designer perspective, we have the conceptual model. They are the one who do the design. But from the user perspective, they have the mental model. So actually how they see, how the user perceive, so that is from the user perspective. So we need to do the proper design to meet the user mental model. So for user, sometimes they're very hard to visualize what actually they want, right? So that's why we as a designer, we need to understand so that we can win their mental model to at the best level. And design is very is a question actually, how to find the possible match between user mental model with what they have in their mind and also our designer conceptual model. What actually is the mental model? If you can see here, mental model actually is referred to the expectation, how something should work. So user, especially if they already use the handphone, if you give them the new gadget, new handphone, how actually they learn, they make use whatever their previous understanding, previous experience from the similar product, and they make the assumption. Okay, that is what we call perceived affordances. So understanding the mental model actually involve uncover their deeper understanding, okay, because this one involve motivation, involve the thought processes, emotional, okay, and also emotional state of your user, how actually they see things, okay, whether they are getting excited to see maybe the packaging part, so they will give some impact to the product that they will use. Okay, this is some of the example. Booking a flight. Okay, so if we want to book any flight, we have some basic expectation, right? What actually the step? Okay, do we need to do the login process? Before we do the payment, we need to select the date and time, what is the food that we want on flight. So this is the step by step. Okay, so that is the mental model, that from the user perspective. Okay, so it's very important to understand because sometimes person mental model sometimes evolve. It's subject to change. It depends also the new experience. For example, like maybe they already experience learning a new gadget, okay, so learning other technology, or maybe they go to travel, just come back from travel, they have a different mental model about things, the way they see things. And this one also is depend on how actually our build up. So for example, like if the same gadget you give to the kids in urban and also in the rural place, maybe they have the different mental model. Okay, what about the conceptual model? This is created by the designer, okay, as a high level plan for how the product should work and fit together. So what is the element? If you can see here, some of the element include information architecture, because from the designer perspective, they see things, okay, in the form of architecture, how actually they want the customer to understand about the product. So we need to match their expectation. The terminology, maybe we as a technical person, the term that we use is so technical, so jargon, so bombastic, where it's not familiar with the normal word that being used by user. Okay, so we have to closely match with the terms that customer use every day. The content strategy. So how actually the content should appear in every page. For example, like in smartwatch, okay, how actually the content should appear, because the size is quite small, right? So they should have some rule in order to guide for the designer. The channel strategy, the interaction model. Okay, so this is some of the examples. So the best way actually is for user and also for the designer sit together, discuss, and normally we need to do the testing. Okay, concept testing, usability testing. This is all the testing type that available. Okay, what about this one, conceptual model? Yeah, this is another example. We can see, okay, from when the designer design any representation, they present that into the interface, and what come into user mind, yeah, how users see that is the mental model. They will interpret based on their knowledge, and then they will test their hypothesis. What happen if I click this? What happen if I if I group this? What happens if I change this, modify this, edit this? So this is something that come into their mind. So we cannot ignore their our customer mental model, because if we ignore them, then we tend to come up with a product that is not easy to learn, not easy to use, and customer will frustrated. Okay, so we cannot abandon that. Yeah, so okay, for example, like if we want to develop a new product, okay, new driverless car, for example, release, and maybe the car, we assume as a designer, we assume that it's driverless, then we not put any steering wheel in the car. Yeah? So maybe it's very hard for the user to understand. Okay, the conceptual model is too far removed from the user current mental model, because normally for current mental model, if we want to drive, we should have the steering wheel, right? So maybe we need to adopt. What happened if in the middle of the road, something happened, and then you need to have the normal person to drive the car, then the steering wheel is not there, maybe it will be not useful. Okay, so in order to develop the conceptual model, what we need to do is we need to do the proper research. Okay, understand our customer, what is their expectation. Okay, so try to observe, okay, what actually they do right now. Okay, and without don't make any assumption, any claim, okay, which is maybe is not correct. Use the terminology that user are familiar. Don't make up any new words. Yeah, just to show that you are very technical, you are very very super user, then you can come up with the design that is so latest, so high tech, but it's not, cannot be used by the user. All right, test and iterate. Yeah, so this is two of the word that's very important for the designer: testing and iteration. So keep testing whatever mental model that we have. Keep testing what is our proposed conceptual model that we have in our brain, and also test that with the mental model with our users. Maybe we can use many technique, in order to do the testing. Maybe we use the card sorting. You read the lecture note in order to know better about this testing, and re-evaluate. Okay, so this is very important, so that we can come up with a better design, better product. Yeah, realign our their mental model through education. Maybe we need to produce a video in order to introduce the new conceptual model. All right, so this is a long journey, so I hope that every one of you have end goal in mind. Okay, so that whatever we produce to the customer will meet their mental model. And sometimes we need a better idea, okay, so that we will come a pioneer in order to design a new conceptual model. Okay, so this is the extra knowledge, extra information about chapter 3. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.